NHL picks, best bets, sides, totals, props. We've got it here on PuckTime. WagerTalk TV, April 23rd. It's Thursday. Hope you guys made some money last night in the NHL. Carmine Bianco, Terry Edelman joining me today. Of course, always have Carm with me, and we're happy to have Terry with us to break down. He's going to touch on one game. Carm will get to that, let you guys know the rundown. It's bounce back day for me. It was a great Tuesday and not so great Wednesday. So for the guy that commented yesterday that said, settle down, there's no chance the Penguins will win. Well, congrats to you, man, because you were right. But I'm not happy because I went against what I said all day long. I was going to do Pittsburgh first period, and I changed my mind last minute to taking the full game. That was not pretty whatsoever. We got a series in Anaheim as it goes back to Anaheim 1-1. The Oilers keep giving up those goals, guys. I'll tell you. Carm, will bring you in, man. The playoffs, another overtime. This time, I couldn't stay up for it, man. I had to go to sleep. How was your night last night? Some more wild games.
Yeah, they were wild, all right. 1-1 night in the NHL, which, given how my day had started, not the greatest soccer day. I have a lot more great ones than I do bad ones, but it was a bad one. And then I couldn't stay up to watch like double overtimes in the Minnesota one. I'm like, at that point, too much going on for the next few days. Like, I hate to turn off a game, Andrew, in which it's overtime and it's the playoffs, but it was only game 3 and it was Dallas that ended up winning. So that was good for me. The Oilers didn't show up. They were leaking oil last night, Andrew. We got, I don't know what happened with that goaltending in Edmonton. Neither goalie was any good. That was an exhibition game.
And bad turnover by McDavid, too. We can't forget about that. McDavid also almost gets injured. But it just continues to blow my mind. Like, I'm sorry, but if Tristan Jarry, I saw this, and you and I like to talk a little bit of advanced metrics together. You know who 2 of the worst 3 goalies have been analytically this playoffs? Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner. What do those guys have in common? Well, they both played for the Oilers in the last 2 seasons. So that's unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, that Minnesota series, we won't ask Terry about it because I know he's not happy. But I'll tell you, I think it's going to be, I told you yesterday, it's going to be a zigzag. Like, if there's one series I believe in the zigzag for, it's that series. And look, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, I truly believe, Carm, Philadelphia was the better team for the second and third period. The first period belonged to Pittsburgh. But for Brian Rust to take the elbows, a few kicks and stuff, and then for an extra person to get taken off, I think that changed the game. And one thing that we're learning about the postseason, and I don't want anyone to misconstrue me here, I love playoff hockey. I love physical hockey. But Carmine, when you look at the deadline now, when you look at guys that get picked up at the deadline, it's going to be all tough guys now. It's going to be all third-line players. You look at the Minnesota Wild, what they did, picking up a great third-line guy, a tough guy. That's what it has to be because, let's put it lightly, look at the last couple winners. Look at all the teams that are winning so far. The more scumbags you have on your team, the more you're going to win these battles. It seems like it's best for you. The more dirty plays you have, the better off your team is, as long as you can throw some skill in there.
Absolutely agree with you, Andrew. And I'm glad you're not going with the stoic look today, because that was freaking me out the other day. I was like sitting across from like the Undertaker or something.
Hey, it's because when we have 3 people on, I'm not taking a shot at you or anybody, but I don't know. I know. I don't know when it's my turn to talk again. I'm just standing there waiting to talk again.
I ran out of all of my words. You got to put your hands up every once. But
I'm waiting for my turn, man.
Anyways, I would caution people against judging teams off of like one bad loss in a series. Minnesota didn't look. Dallas didn't look good in game 1, but they've rattled off 2 games. The Oilers didn't look good last night. Quite pathetic, to put it mildly. But will they be better? They're going to have to be better, or they're going to be on their way out. But
yeah,
Final thoughts, because we got to get going. Philadelphia. I said it yesterday, and I get it. The price was low. The Pittsburgh Penguins have not solved the Philadelphia Flyers. They're keeping them to the outside. They're clogging up the neutral zone, and they're not giving them second and third shots on goal. And Dan Vidar is playing extremely well. That's a sweep. I just don't see how Philadelphia would want, actually they don't want to, but how they would lose at home and have to travel again to Pittsburgh, which is not far away, obviously, for a game 5. You don't want to give Mo, don't give Mo any reason to change teams. Mo right now is enjoying his time with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Carm, it's a Kyle Dubas run team. Let's not forget how good the Maple Leafs always looked going into the postseason. But things change once you go into the playoffs, man. And look, it's true. Kyle Dubas, look, he knows how to build a team. Does he know how to build a playoff team is the question.
Yeah. Well, salary cap hurt it, but bad decision making, helped Toronto be where they are right now, which is in trouble, which even before Dubas got there, they spent a lot of money, Pittsburgh, on players, and then they went out and spent another $55 million on a offensive defenseman. I don't get it. But with that said, Andrew, this one is going to be a good one. When we talk about 3 very good games tonight, Carolina and Ottawa. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure the odds on this one. There we go. 124 on the Sens, Andrew, plus 103 on the Canes. The Canes up 2-0 in this series. Could be 1-1, could be 0-2. Depends on how you viewed those games, but I say they were tight. Andrew, I think it loosens up a little bit in Ottawa tonight. I'm looking for some scoring in this one. I'm going over 5.5. I'm going against the norm or the trend of these teams staying under.
Did you see the video the Ottawa Senators Twitter account put out this morning? Absolutely priceless. That young guy that did that music video again outside the arena that everybody was hating on. I can't believe just a pretty cringe-worthy music video. And he puts a video out. He's like, I'm in Taiwan now. He's like, the Ottawa Senators have sent me to Taiwan. They did not like my music video. The whole fan base didn't like my music video. So they have sent me away. Absolutely comical. Respect him for going into the bit, but I couldn't really believe what I was seeing out of that video. But great stuff here from Ralph Michaels. Got to bring this up here. First 2 games of a series go under as we change venues and go back to Ottawa for game 3, 21-14-2. That's 60% to the over since 2016. If the first 2 games of the series, and I believe this bodes well even more for the first round. Look, I lost on the first period over in the last one, Carm. I'm going to go right back to it because the last time I lost a first period over was the Vegas and Utah series. And the next game, they hit it within 6 minutes. So sometimes if you lose a bet, you can't be scared to go right back to it the next game. And so that's my plan here. That's my outlook on Carolina and Ottawa. First period over. And there is an option at some sports books. And unfortunately, I worry about giving these out as client plays just because everybody might not be able to access these, but for most domestic books, you should be able to. Carm, there's an option for first goal of the game, first goal, first period type of thing here. And you can get first goal, first period, Ottawa Senators at plus 120. No goal is plus 400. Carolina is plus 135. What did we see yesterday? And I didn't even follow my own instructions. Pittsburgh's best period of the series was the first 20 minutes. Their best time frame was probably the first 15 minutes. Who knows if Ottawa can sustain it for 60, but for the first 20, I like this. Plus 120, Ottawa scores first, over 1.5 goals at a minus 120 price. That's not too bad for me.
Yeah. Effectively, Andrew, the Ottawa Senators playoffs are over if they lose tonight. They're not going to come from 3 back and beat the Canes. It's a shame because this Ottawa team would likely be up 2-0 against any other team that's playing right now in the Eastern Conference. So if you think about it, Ottawa would be up in the series against Buffalo or Boston or Tampa or Montreal. I know you don't want to hear that, or Pittsburgh or Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Even as well as the Flyers have played, but
they could have won the game 10 times, Carm. They could have won the game in game 2.
Yeah, it's and it's the ones that get away that make it so tough because now all the pressure is on the Sens. It depends on what the leaders do in the dressing room, right? The leaders, you know what I mean? They could have this team playing comfortable today with a few simple words like, I don't know, like Mark, not Mark Stone, but someone standing up and saying, guys, we're underdogs in this series. We're down 2-0. We're playing our first game at home. Let's go out there one game at a time. Sounds like a John Tortorella thing. One game at a time.
Yeah.
You can't win game 4 before you've played game 3. So I think this is the best time for the Sens to get a win. I think it prolongs the series, not much, because I think if the Sens win tonight, the Canes win game 4, and then I'll take the Canes to win in game 5 as well, too. So
I think, Carm, you got to tap into your Italian brother there. Michael Amadio. He's got to get it going. Shane Pinto's got to get it going. Warren Fogle has to get it going. It takes pressure off the top players if the bottom players score. And I feel like that's the big difference. You know, you look at Nathan McKinnon hasn't even looked that good in the Colorado series so far. His team is up 2-0. You know, like if Stützle should have scored probably 2 goals in that last game. But how good would he feel if Nick Cousins or Lars Eller scored a goal? You know, it makes you feel so much less pressure on the top dogs. I get it. They make all the money. I get it. The pressure is on them. But if you get a guy that plays 13 minutes a game that scores a goal for you, it makes a hell of a difference. It really does.
Yeah, no, listen, Andrew, I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think the number, as much as you want the Canes at like plus money, I think the number tells you the Sens is the right side tonight. And we're probably going to get their best performance out of them. Is that enough to get them over? Who knows? The final change helps a little bit. Obviously, home ice helps a bit. Your fans who are going to be rocking. Is this still called the Canadian Tire Center?
CTC, yes, sir.
CTC. There you go. So they're going to be rocking. So it's just a matter of what kind of intensity they come out with. But I think if they can get ahead of the Canes, you then force the Canes to play a bit of a different game, get up by a couple goals. No one likes being up by 2. They say it's the worst lead in NHL. I'll take a 2-0 lead anytime, Andrew, with my teams. Give me a 2-0 lead. But with that said, Andrew, we have a very important game to talk about because these teams are tied at 1-1. And no, it is not Minnesota and Dallas, but we are going to bring in Terry Edelman.
What's up?
Hey guys, how's it going? Not too much. We got another 3-game slate today. Some interesting games and really interesting one I'm about to break down. So I'm excited to be here on PuckTime.
Well, Terry, we've been talking to you for years now, and we did a playoff preview on Friday together. And now we have you on PuckTime here, picksandparlays.net. People can find all of your work. You do great videos every single day as well, breaking down the player prop sides, totals, and I always love anybody that wants to bet CFL as well. So I always love talking CFL with you. But NHL today, are you going to make Carm happy on your PuckTime debut, or what side are you going here?
Well, Tara, before you say anything, I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite team is the team that I bet on and gave to my clients. So if it's the Bruins tonight and I haven't loaded any plays, then so be it, the Bruins. My team winning a cup doesn't do anything for me, Andrew, or winning a game doesn't do anything for me because I don't actually physically get like a Stanley Cup ring or the cup. So
if the Habs won the cup, I'd probably cry. So it would do something for me, that's for sure.
Well, you probably cry watching the national anthem too. But anyways, with that said, Ter, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to let you guys discuss. Andrew, tee it up.
Yeah, well, it's practically a pick here, Terry. We're going back to the Garden here. I know you're a great props bettor, but of course, 1-1 as Boston probably been the better team for 5 of the 6 periods in this series so far. What have you seen from the series, your takeaways, and how much do you think it's a factor being at the Garden? What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, well, Boston's been a much better home team all season long. So all season long, they've been better at home. This game is very interesting. I think it's priced correctly, minus 110 each way. I think this is a complete pick 'em. I could make a case for both sides. The Boston Bruins, like you said, Andrew, they've outplayed Buffalo for most of this series so far. They outplayed them in game 1. Obviously had that 2-0 lead. Things fell apart in the third period. They completely outplayed them in game 2. Again, Buffalo tried to come back in the third period. When I look at it, now we're heading to Boston. So now obviously Boston has home ice advantage, but the Buffalo Sabres, they started the season 2-9-2 on the road. They were complete awful. I think they lost their first 7 road games. So they were an awful team on the road to start the season. But when Buffalo flipped that switch in December, when they started turning everything around, it was really their play on the road. 22-4-2 in their final 28 road games. So the Buffalo Sabres have shown down the stretch they can win games on the road. I think for Buffalo, now not having to worry about the fans at home, they can just come out here, play their game. There's no distractions. I think that helps Buffalo. But Boston's completely outplayed them in this series so far. So when I look at the side here, I think this is an incredibly difficult game to bet sidewise. But I would lean with the over. I think we're going to get goals here on both sides. And as Andrew said, I'm a player props expert. That's my favorite thing to bet is player props. I have the most success with it. And when I was looking at the Buffalo Sabres, we didn't know heading into this series who's going to be a playoff performer for the Buffalo Sabres, because of course it's been a long time since they made the playoffs, so we really haven't seen anybody in the playoffs for the most part. Of course, Alex Tuch had some experience. Other guys had a little bit of experience, but for Buffalo in general, haven't really seen who's going to be their playoff performer. And one guy I've really noticed, and he's got a ton of value here in this game, is Owen Power. Owen Power has a point in 4 games in a row, both games in this series, and he's enjoyed facing the Boston Bruins. He's got a point in 8 of his last 13 games against Boston and 2 of his last 3 games in Boston. So Owen Power, plus 185 to get a point here in this game. I think there's incredible value with that, with the way he's played in this series. And then for the Boston Bruins, you got to go with Morgan Geekie. Anytime goal here, plus 210. Scored in 5 of his last 6 games, both games in this series. 7 of his last 11 games against the Sabres, he scored, and 4 of the last 6 at home against Buffalo, he scored a goal. So for me here, Owen Power point, Morgan Geekie anytime goal. Really great value on both props here in this one.
All right. Awesome stuff, Taryn. Appreciate you joining us. Tell people, we surprised some people. Tell people where they can find you and what you have up today and tomorrow. And there's a pretty good deal for first-time buyers as well, too.
Yeah, so I'm over on picksandparlays.net. You can quickly get there at pnp.buzz/te. We'll get you right over to my capper page. And there's a great special, especially for WagerTalk customers. You get your first picks package at Picks and Parlays for $1 if you use promo code BUCK at checkout. So you can go and get any package you want, and it's only $1. Your first package over on the site. Today I have a MLB play here in the afternoon. I know it's a hockey show, but I'm on a 20-6 run in Major League Baseball, up over 20 units in the last 6 days. So baseball's going really well right now. Got to play up in the afternoon. I will have plays in the NHL coming up later this afternoon for tomorrow. So if you want hockey, you can wait and grab that play, but only $1, your first package, your first picks package on the site. It's a great deal.
Tare, wish you the best of luck. Sabres in Minnesota in the Stanley Cup Finals is what every TV executive wants to see. Minnesota and Buffalo in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I would love to see it. I've got futures on the Sabres to win. Not just the wild part, but I've got futures on the Sabres to win the East and to win the Cup already. So I would love a Sabres wild.
All right, man. Take care. We'll catch you later.
Thanks, Terry.
See you guys.
Andrew, man, it looked like Colorado was going to easily roll this LA Kings team, but the Kings, they're doing a little different. Normally, they take a lead in the opening round against the Edmonton Oilers and then watch the Oilers come back. Are they playing possum tonight? I like the LA Kings. I think if the Kings are going to win one, it's going to be the third game at home. These game threes have been going well for me. Obviously, with Dallas yesterday, I take a stand on who I think should be winning the series after the first couple of games. And if they're tied 1-1, I'm going to take the team I think is playing the better hockey. The Kings are giving a hard time right now, and they're right in it in that last game. I think first game at home, their way of getting back into the series. It's like you say, you never lose a series unless you lose a game at home. So if the Kings can win their 3, at least they'll force a game 7 in Colorado. And, game 7, anything goes. Give me the Kings tonight. I am on the plus money tonight, Andrew. What are your thoughts? You have a same game parlay for us on this?
Yeah, I look, there's only so many games every day for us to break down, Carm, so I decided to just bring my props for this game. We've seen back-to-back 2-1 efforts. Back-to-back 2-1, the exact same scoreline here. We've got some player props look at, expecting this one to maybe open up a little bit here. Let's rock with Adrian Kempe. He's the trigger man. He's the shooter for the Los Angeles Kings. 3+ shots on goal. I believe because they don't have the last change, might be tougher for the big guys to get a bunch of shots for Colorado, but we'll take a defenseman, Cale Makar, 3+ shots on goal. Brock Nelson point and Valerie Nichushkin point. Those two guys play on the same line together unless something changes. So I think if one guy gets a point, so does the other guy. And again, not having the last change, maybe McInnis gets covered, maybe Nate just gets covered, maybe it's the secondary guys that get the goals tonight. So looking forward to it. I like your take there about LA. Look, they have to feel confident because they've been right in the series. The tough part is they've done a great job defensively and they've lost both those games. So Carm, really look forward to seeing what we get from the LA Kings tonight. And I'm as much as I was sad that I missed overtime last night, I'm happy to have had a great sleep last night so I can feel good going into this game tonight.
Yeah. No, listen, I get it. I came back from the trip and I was more exhausted than when I left. And then I had 3 monster busy days and insomnia, but I've gotten 3 days of sleep in a row. So I'm pretty happy about that. Andrew, before we get on to a pod play, and yes, I have a pod play today, let's talk about these ones. Playoff teams often OT, often overtime, playing the same team, and the total is 5.5 or lower. The under is still 49, 23, and 5. So, Andrew, that magical number of 5, what do you think? Is it, Andrew? Does it have something to do with the quick turnaround? If it was a double OT, guys who normally stars or 25, 26 minutes pulling in like almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, fatigue factor. Yeah, you'd think a little bit of fatigue maybe and just like how the game played out. But it is interesting because you've got that theory also combined with the first 2 games going under theory that I mentioned earlier. So we'll see which one ends up coming out on top. But I do believe that there is something to be said about like just absolutely exhausting games, what they could turn into the next one. Because you know what? Everybody always talks about the side zigzag theory. But Carm, why don't people talk about the totals zigzag theory as much? Maybe that's a factor too. Maybe the zigzag is applicable for that as it could be for sides and totals.
It very well could be, Andrew. You know what I mean? Like it is. You look at a couple of series, and you look at the Edmonton series and Anaheim series, and does anyone in the live chat or watching this video later? I know I had that huge thing on the Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup, but like in this series, does anybody think either team is capable of stopping the other team's offensive flow? Because 6-4 last night off of another high-scoring game, 4-3 in game one. Reverting to Anaheim, I don't see how they just stop scoring goals. Are we going to see a 7 here for the first time? I think we do, Andrew.
We might see a 6.5 or a 7.5 at this point. It's crazy, man. The first period over hit with ease, the full game over hit with ease. Anybody trying to be a contrarian in that series, good luck to you. I wish you all the best.
Yeah. And with that, it is the pod play. So the other series that I'm talking about, when it comes to like goals over and under, is, you look at the Carolina series, and it's a series in which your over or under bet could be dead by the second period. If the goalies continue to show up, there's just not going to be a lot of goals in this game. But I think the venue switch, I think the first game in Ottawa, and they've been in this series throughout. I like them to win tonight. And when you like a team to win, they've got to do it by scoring some goals as well, too. I think over 5.5 is the contrarian play. But I'm going to take it. These are two teams with solid goaltending that have played lights out defense in the first two games. Doing it 3 in a row is awfully tough. So I'm looking at taking the over here. And if it hits, I will come back with a pod on the over in game 4.
All right, Karma. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to I think should be a great game. Every day there's these games and I'm like, oh man, what a game. I hope tomorrow is just as good. And then it's like the next day, there's just a fantastic game as well. So, Carm, luckily for me, it was more of a quiet day yesterday for me. I had the Penguins and I had the first period for the Oilers, plus money on the Oilers play. So at least with that loss, we don't lose a ton of units there with that one. But 7-1 run with 5% NHL plays. We're locked and loaded. We're ready to roll here tonight. These best bets have been fantastic. Going into the playoffs on a 7-0 run with the 5% plays. We dropped one with Carolina, the opening game of the playoffs. They played their asses off. They won 2-0, didn't get to 4 goals, but found one today that I really do like. So you guys can get that at WagerTalk.com. You can also get the PuckTime BOGO special. If you want my 5%, get Carmine's plays too. Get 3 days of both of us in one special, or you can get 6 days for the price of 3. That deal is still available at WT.buzz/AM. Let's have a night. Let's make some money in the NHL. I cannot wait. Carm, close it out for us, man.
All right. Andrew, I'm going to have a couple plays up in the NHL tonight. I've already mapped out everything up until game 5 for some of the teams. So 2 up for tonight. I'll have 2 up on Friday, 3 Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. Let's go 9-0 in the NHL. We can do it. Why not? If the 6-60 can go 6-0, the 9-0 is a possibility here. No soccer today. It returns for the weekend, and I will have a 5% play up this weekend. Let's see if we can keep that good roll going. For myself, Andrew McInnis, and our guest today, Terry Edelman. Guys, this is Puck Time. We will see you on Friday.